Here with the CEO of KHK.
Thank you for having me.
About your platform.
KHK is a system, a company, an organization that is strictly built towards developing talent, making sure that every athlete, every fighter has a value that they deserve for the hard work that they put in. And what we are trying to do is execute that into the most fastest growing sport in the world, which is mixed martial art, and Brave Combat Federation is our product of that effort and that system that we're trying to put together. So we're just expanding that product of Brave Combat Federation to India and make sure that we make the best of the Indian fighters and give them the best value that they deserve.
So when is the will it happen?
So in India we're looking at any time in the first quarter of 2017. So we just had the press conference today, so we're just going to go back and sit down and decide what's best for us. We have a lot of events internationally. So in 2017 we're looking at a lot of events. So we're going to Brazil in Feb, March in Portugal, and then April in Amsterdam. So it's going to go on, and then we have 10 events in the Middle East. It's going to be insane. So we want to back up India somewhere around that to make sure that it has something that the element of what Indians want. So give them the Indian fighters, not have Indian fighters fight internationally, but at the same time have few fighters who are at the top level go international. It's an exciting time for India and an exciting time for mixed martial arts. So I'm pumped up.
Great, looking forward for the same. Thank you so much.
You know, that, as rightly you said, it's one of the, definitely I find very toughest sport in the world. And the way it's growing, the youth is definitely very attached to the sport right now, and in very soon. If we have platforms like this, I'm sure there are a lot of guys, they will come in, and because they will see the future.
Because I'm not in the business of crying, I'm in the business of making things happen. So with that being said, cricket is big because they deserve to be big. You know, they've achieved something big in the international world. You cannot deny that. I live in Bahrain. I go to the movie theater and I see people going crazy for Salman Khan. You know, and that's amazing. That's amazing to see. You walk and you see billboards of Hrithik Roshan. In Bahrain we have billboards of Hrithik Roshan. Imagine, you know, they don't even speak Hindi. And imagine that. So that's how cool it is. They make an international impact. Why Brave Combat Federation comes here is because we are not an Indian promotion. We are expanding to India and being relevant to the Indian market. So what I want to do is I want to come here and show that our fighters, just like cricket, just like Bollywood, has international fans, international recognition. When have we last seen, to be honest, when have we last seen, forget the Olympics, it is what, the second biggest viewed event, I guess, after World Cup? So forget the Olympics. Apart from Olympics, when was the last time we had the international world going crazy on any of our athletes? Now let me ask you another question. Professional boxing has never been in India. So combat sports and entertainment business, the fight business, which is the fastest growing business in the world, and fight business is the biggest event in sports when you take the top 5 list. Athletes or events. The biggest ones in Madison Square Garden today or before the last event, it's always been fight business. But what happened? Why isn't it growing in India? Number one, we never had it before. Boxing was never there in India, so the education of the public of what these athletes are very less. So we need to educate them more. And with your platforms and media, I'm sure that in the next 1 year, with a lot of relevant events and having to see more contents of what they do behind the scenes through Brave Combat Federation, I'm sure they're going to be more educated about what these fighters go through. But most importantly, I'm here to make sure that the world sees what they go through. And believe me, when the world appreciates your athletes, we will appreciate them too, because we know how important they are for us, you know. And as long as that hasn't been happening in India, we'll always be behind the sports. I'm not talking about cricket, anything in that matter, any industry for that matter, who's having international recognition. So if I don't have the international recognition or the platform to get international recognition, why cry about it? You know? So today we have it. Today is a day that we're going to bring in the best, the fastest growing sport in the world, the fight business, which we've been craving to have in India. We're bringing that here. We've had regional events. They've done nothing to give us international recognition anywhere else. And I love the regional events is to build the fighters. And that's why today when I come here, I have top fighters to select from the country. So we're going to give it the international recognition. And when we give it the international recognition, and believe me, when you realize that the whole Europe and the whole Ireland, the whole Middle East is going crazy on one of your fighters, believe me, you really be filled with pride. And that feeling